Hello there, and welcome to 2024. How many times so far have you put the wrong date, the wrong year on something you were writing down? Yes, I've done it quite a lot already. I hope I find you well after the Christmas break, and all the family trials and tribulations that throws up are all done with, and we can now look forward to delving into the world of action and stunts on film and television for another season. And well, this year we don't start here, we start in 1988 and in Ireland. Well, we're in Wicklow. It's a beautiful part of the world there, you know. Be God, some lovely sunsets and sunrises. And the beer, oh, Jay, the Guinness is flowing like water. So we're going to be there, and why are we there? Because in 1988, a certain Pierce Brosnan made a movie called Taffin. Taffin was a debt collector, for use of a better phrase. You had a problem, somebody owed you money, you would go and see Mark Taffin, who lived in this particular part of the world, and he would sort it out for a commission. Often this service would end up in fisticuffs in some shape or form, and occasionally he'd have to go a little further. And that's what this movie is all about. It's a scenario about him trying to help the village and having to go the extra mile and then some to get it done. It's always been talked about in not the greatest terms, and Pierce will probably admit to you that it's not the greatest movie in the world. I think it's huge fun, and I was of an age where when I saw it and it had Pierce in it, I was perfectly happy. It could have been absolutely terrible from start to finish, but there are some lovely moments in it. You will remember that there is a line in it which is infamous. Perhaps you shouldn't be living here. The way he delivers that line is, I don't know how many takes they did. That's possibly the first one. But the action, which is what we're going to look and talk about here, is provided by a legend dearly departed. PETER BRAYHAM is the stunt coordinator, had been stunt coordinator on many fabulous movies over the years and television over the years, particularly movies like Villain. That was a great picture. He was in charge of that. Brannigan, he was responsible for the action on that. We've covered that before. And television series like The Professionals and The Sweeney, which he was also responsible for. He has a certain style. You will be able to see from some of the clips here, he's brought in some of his mates who do a fine job here. Frank Henson is in this as well, of course, was one of the lead stuntmen for the Sweeney, and we'll be able to catch up with what's going on. Let's have a little look and find the action cues from Taffin, and here we go. So, Taffin from 1988. Let's have a little look at what goes on. We start with the restaurant fight. He turns up, confronts the owner, who's your man there, and then your man relies on some heavies. Just happens to have a couple of stuntmen knocking about in the kitchen. It's always handy to have these days. Got to pay daily rates, though. Simon Crane over here, and over there is Terry Plummer. Terry, very recognisable. And if there's going to be a dust-up in some shape or form, these boys are always handy. Pierce, on the other hand, Oh, look, he's gone and knocked a table over. Lads, what can I say? I'm sorry, lads, what can I say? And then starts, wait! Oh, he didn't throw the first punch. Right, there he is, flipping over into the table. He's got a little bit of padding on round his back there. The table collapses through. He's going to do that again in a minute. He's going to double the other actor. Terry, of course, just get launched against the wall and through the table. And now he's doubling the actor for this final part. Throws that, spin through the table the first time, and then over the bar he goes. Simon earning his money here. Oh, the old broken bottle routine, eh? Up. And over he goes again. Whack. So it worked the first time, it worked the second time. And there we are. That's the one way of dealing with that. He then obtains the car There's a car park fight here. This is super. So this is they've been out for the night, and they're off, and they get to the end of the car park, and then this pulls up. Lorry pulls up. You think, right, this is awkward. And this mob jump out, heavy-handed. Frank Henson over there on the left. Jazza Jays partway through, both brandishing what looked like hurley sticks or baseball bats. I think they're just long bits of wood. And then his mate says, right, get off, love, I'm going for help. And he sets off. Oh, just manages to miss them there. Who's it? Rocky Taylor. He's got form, you know. Look, you remember he did this before in a certain Bond movie. Him and windscreens, he loves it. And then Val Mazzetti takes over riding the bike. Boom! Gets that right across his chest. And off he goes onto the 4. Is dismissed accordingly. Jazza gives him a swing there. It doesn't really get any better, really. Look, she's getting thrown about all over the place. That's Alison Doody. Pierce gives Rocky one, gives him a slap, gets grabbed hold of him. Frank Henson's now got him in a headlock, so he's not going very far. And he gets a fair hiding, to be honest. A right old beating. Ooh, Rocky throwing in haymakers, look. Couple of nights' work in Wicklow. It was great fun. They call this fellow, he's the ringleader, you see, so they call him off and leave poor old Pierce in a right old state on the ground. And off they go. The next setup is the car chase, and this is lovely because it gives Val Mazzetti a chance to shine once again. Ex-motor racer, ex-racing driver. That's your car over there? Yep. Thought so. Vroom. And then he reverses into it. That's a Mustang he's driving. And then speeds off. So the two of them will have a little chase sequence now. Handles really well, that Mustang. In the Jag is Peter Brayham, the stunt coordinator. He's going to have a go. He's very used to driving Jags. Spent a massive part of his life driving them. And here we get a chance to see Val. He's chucking this thing about left, right and centre. That's Val Mazzetti there. Poise, control. Look, kicks the tail out. Lovely. Really does do it lovely. And then there's another vehicle coming. Oh, just got to slide round that one. And then pull it through onto the other side of the road. The fight between the two of them. Now, I've looked at this a number of times, and they're not doubled. They're not doubled. This is Pierce, and this is the actor. And they're both throwing their heart and soul into this. A couple of continuity issues along the way, but we'll cross that in a second. He's got some padding on his leg there, like shin pads or something like that. This one here, particularly, this is the monkey climb. Throws him over. Look at where he is, and all of a sudden he's facing the opposite direction. Should have re-looked at that, really. But they're doing a fair old bit of work here. Pierce getting hot and bothered. It's the long hair and the big coat, I imagine. But look, again, bang. Grabs hold of his face, misses him, grabs him again, bang. They're up. And then out from the shed comes one of Pierce's guys. Right, you look after him. Off you go. And there he is. Super. Alison Doody. Now, there's a lovely moment here at the end of the picture. Here's this is not Alison running through, by the way. This is her stunt double. We'll come to that in a second. There's a car coming down the road. Just in case the car doesn't stop on its mark, for whatever reason, Peter says, no, we'll put a double in. And in her place is Tracy Eden. So Tracy Eden jumps in, gets in the car, and away they go. And Pierce and his fella, they're fairly happy with themselves, as you can hear. There we go. That is Taffin from 1988. I love that film. I don't care what anybody says. I love it. I also love the fact that, and it's not a million miles away from a place that I stayed in myself many years ago called Macroom, which is just outside Cork. And wherever you go, somebody delivers a beautiful pint of Guinness. And, well, you drink it, even if you go, could I have a Campari and soda? God forbid that somebody would go into an Irish pub and ask for that. But chances are you'll get a pint delivered to you. The only thing I didn't see in that, which did happen to me when I was in Dublin many years ago, there was a pub in a place called Walkinstown, which is a few miles outside of Dublin, and a small area. And we went into the pub, and when you'd ordered a pint of Guinness, you would be drinking your said pint, and then when you were halfway down your first pint, the barman would then give you the nod, yep, right, and would start pouring the second one, because it takes half a pint to settle. It would then settle, it would be then ready by the time you'd finished your first one, and this is the clincher, it would be brought to the table by a child. Now, let me just explain this for a moment in case somebody thinks that a passing toddler would pick up one's pint and bring it to the table. In point of fact, there were a number of children, and I'd say the word children, they were 7, 8, 9 years old, probably family, right? Probably family-run business, many of these pubs were. And they were in the waistcoat, the dicky bow, white shirt, black trousers and shoes. And they were waiting. They were waiting tables. They would take the pints from the bar and they would deliver them to the tables. Nowadays, that's looked on as being a little old-fashioned. And I dare say it probably still happens in certain places. But when I was there at the time, it had a certain uniqueness to it, which I thought was rather nice. Also, on the first occasion when I went there as an adult, I'd been with my parents on numerous occasions. They, of course, are Irish, so I had been to Dublin with them to see the family on many occasions before. As a family, we had gone, but the first time that I went on my own, I was with a bunch of lads. We went into a pub and said, it was 7 pints of Guinness, and the fella said, I'm sorry, sir, but we're not open just at the moment. But would you like a drink while you're waiting? Yeah. So, you had to get used to certain phrases and certain sayings. But we liked all of that. What he meant was the till wasn't open. The doors were open, but the till wasn't open, and therefore you couldn't take any money. But if you'd like a drink, well then, that's okay. And sure enough, he poured us a few pints, and we were happy as the day was long. This is a movie to be enjoyed with stout, I think. I think you should have a couple of Guinness while you're watching this. It does get progressively better as you're part way down pint 2. And Alison Doody is an absolute joy, of course. So what more could you possibly want? Very interesting to see that Val Mazzetti in 2 roles there. Firstly, as double for Pierce in the car. And then, well, he's the motorbike man. So he gets brought in to fall off the motorcycle. Nice fight in the car park. Rocky once again turning up. If you need your windscreen smashing in a movie, Rocky Taylor's your man, He's got plenty of form, as we said there. He's done it before. And dear old Frank Henston in there as well, doing a sterling job. Sadly, again, no longer with us. A lot of these great names aren't any longer, but lovely to see him in there. And Jazza, of course. Jazza's not with us either, so it's quite poignant when you look at all of this talent in one shot. Next week, what are we doing? Well, we're staying in the mid-80s. And there are some newer, up-to-date pictures coming along, so don't panic. All of those people who've been messaging me going, can you do anything that isn't from the 70s and 80s? Yes, I will do, but I need to get a few bits and pieces out first. Next week, a movie I've been aching to have a go at for some time, and I've been doing some research on this one, and I've managed to speak to a number of fabulous individuals who were involved in the production. We are talking Action Jackson next week. Carl Weathers in what really should have been a wonderful vehicle for him to then go on and take over the world as an action leading man. It didn't really happen, and it's such a shame because this movie's got a whole heap of fabulous stuff going on. Stunt coordinator is Geoffrey Brown, sadly no longer with us, a wonderful exponent of the action art, and it is directed by Craig Baxley. Craig Baxley, you will know if you are a fan of action television, as the stunt coordinator and often second unit director on the A-Team right the way through its run. He was also the stunt coordinator and second unit director on a certain other film of mine that's really close to my heart, which is Predator, which I absolutely adore, and I dare say we'll have a look at that at some point during the course of this season. So if you can contain yourself for that long, we'd love to see you back next week. If you don't already subscribe, go on, have a go. It's a new year, new you. Push the button. Go and get yourself some early notifications of when some stuff is coming through. Don't forget to follow on all of the social medias, including Twitter. I'm continuing to use the word Twitter because it is Twitter to me. It is not X, it is Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and the Instagram, TikTok too. There's always something going on down there. And until next time, it's bye for now.